What's up? This is Devin. Thanks for tuning into the channel. Right now, I got a video. It's kind of like a mindset thing, talking about fear. Uh, Fear. It's never as bad as you think it's gonna be. It's never as bad as it seems. Um, I don't know who said the quote. I thought it was Abraham Lincoln, but I couldn't find it when I was looking for it before I shot this. Um, I once heard that uh, a, a man who lives in fear feels things twice, feels failures twice. And what this means is that if you're living by fear and say you're scared of something to happen, for example, you haven't changed your tires and you're just scared to drive your car because you're scared the tire's going to blow out. Obviously, that's something you probably should fix, but let's say for some reason you don't have the means to have it fixed. If you're living in fear about it, if your tire ever does blow out, you're going to feel the pain of your tire blowing out. But because all those days prior to your tire blowing out, you're living thinking about the pain of your tire blowing out, you felt it twice. You felt it before it happened, and then when it did happen. If you weren't living in fear and you were still driving your car without that in mind and just thinking, if it comes, I'll deal with it, that whole point, you're in a happier moment before it happens, and when it does happen, you only feel it once. So that's the meaning of that quote. And really, it's just putting yourself out there despite the fear. And there's like a few things I'll go through why that's just kind of the better option. Um, Most of the time, when you fear something, say you're nervous to do something, uh, I can say, I've started like 3 different businesses, and most of the time, like, easy one. Two of the businesses I've done, they were primarily uh, started around door-to-door sales, door-to-door marketing. So I'm knocking on people's doors. They were paint businesses, so it's like, my name is Devin. Basically, long story short, can I paint your house? Do you need house painting? And a lot of times I'd be so scared to go out, to go knocking on doors, because I'm scared of what they might say. They might reject me. They might do this, that, and the third. And then when you get there, you just see that it's just another person, and it's really not that big of a deal. You kind of souped it up in your head to be this big thing that it really isn't. And usually what people are scared of is like the worst thing happening. And I know in terms of these businesses, they all fell flat on their face. So the worst thing did happen. Like, the business didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. And honestly, like, I've rebounded. I'm on to a new one now. This whole idea, it's really in its infancy now, but I have future plans, and there's things I'm scared of with this. But it's like acting in spite of it, because when the worst thing does happen, it's really like not nearly as bad as you think. And you can even think about it in like a relationship sense. I know you go out sometimes as a man, you might want to talk to some like girls, and you might be a little bit nervous of, oh, if I get rejected, how am I gonna look? Am I gonna look stupid? Oh, maybe they have a boyfriend. But even in those situations, like, I've kind of learned that I actually do better when the worst thing happens. Like, every single story, maybe for another time, but like, there's been times where I've had guys, I was talking to their girlfriend, apparently, like, try to fight me in the middle of the club. I've had uh, mostly dudes that really are like end up being the worst, making it the worst. I actually know this situation. I have a girl curse me out in front of like everybody in the middle of the bar, and it's kind of like that was exactly what I didn't want to happen, was to be kind of rejected in front of everybody. But then when you're in that situation, you see it for what it is. It's like, oh shit, like, this is what the fuck I've been avoiding. Like, it really wasn't even that big a deal. Actually, it was kind of funny. Actually, it was funny. Like, these dudes kind of tried to jump me, and then actually, in every single case that this has happened, where the worst things happen, in those cases, the next group of people I talk to, I'm firing on all cylinders because it's at that point after the worst things happen. There's nothing to even be scared of. So, um, and the CEO of LinkedIn actually had a very good quote that I don't know verbatim, but I remember it was something to the effect of he's talking about launching a product, and he says if you're not embarrassed by your first product when you bring it to market, you've waited too long. So like if you're feeling scared to do something and you're gonna wait until you're trying to wait until situations are perfect, everything's great, and there's no way you can make a mistake. You've waited too long. You've wasted valuable time because you're really only gonna ever learn by pushing your comfort zone and facing the fear and having the courage to face the fear. And a lot of times people are scared of things that say they don't have the skill set or the adequate knowledge and instincts to execute in a way where they know it'll be flawless, and that's because they want to be confident. Like a lot of people always talk about gaining confidence and having confidence in what you do, but I mean, I wrestled for about like 8 9 years, from elementary through high school, and I was not really that confident in the beginning, especially when I got to high school and you see that there's people that really are good, like really good at the sport. Um, it's hard to have confidence, but there's a difference between confidence and courage. Courage is acting when you don't have the skill set. Confidence is acting because you know you have the skill set, so you know you're confident in your abilities because you've been there before. Like the first time you do anything, you're gonna be scared and you're gonna have to use courage to gain the confidence. It's not really like the confidence will come by just executing and doing the action. When I wrestled, I mean, when I would wrestle like top opponents, or when I would actually, more important, when I would go to practice at different clubs and stuff where I knew there was competition that was better than me, or go to tournaments in the off season where I knew like top wrestlers would be, I was, especially the first couple times, I was so scared out of my mind. Like I was scared shitless because I knew that I never done this before. I never really practiced hardcore in the off season, um, and I never really built up the skill set to be where these guys are. And I would be usually seated pretty low, and it was just nerve wracking in the beginning. But as I went to some of these tournaments, I started to play, started to win some here and there, and then I started to win more. My confidence during the season and off season just skyrocketed because it was the fact that I knew I had the ability, but it didn't start with confidence. It started with fear, and then it moved to courage to face that fear, and then it moved to confidence in the fact that I faced this fear before. It's not that big of a thing to deal with, and now I have built the skills. So, really, when it comes to fear, generally you're building it up bigger than it needs to be. The thing you're really scared of is the fact that you don't have the adequate skills you know you need to be fully successful without any failure, but that only comes through pushing through the fear with courage to gain the confidence. And generally, at the end of the day, whatever you're scared of is not that big of a deal. I mean, I can't think of one time there's something I've been really scared of that I've walked into and faced, and then the worst thing happened, and I've been like, damn, that was worse than I fucking thought it was gonna be. I always think it's gonna be worse, and I don't think I'm like some superhuman dude. So generally, I think that that's most people's experience. So that's pretty much it for today. Made this video a little bit longer than I was anticipating. Trying to cut them more short, tighten them up. But if you enjoyed the content, please just click the subscribe button. Thanks again for watching to the end. It's Devin Coates. Peace out.